Indeed, this is Ayah 174, chapter 2, the cap. Indeed, those who hide God's revelations, trading them for a fleeting gain, consume nothing but fire in their bellies. God will neither speak to them on the day of judgment, nor will he purify them, and they will suffer a painful punishment. They are those who trade guidance for misguidance and forgiveness for punishment. How persistent are they in the pursuit of the fire? That is because God has revealed the book in truth, and surely those who differ regarding it are totally engrossed in opposition. One thing that I've noticed from the Quran, from reading it so far, this is Ayah 174, Surah Al Baqara. One thing that I noticed about the Quran so far is it seems to have this tension release. It seems as if it's like, you guys know the story of the carrot and the stick. You guys know the carrot and the stick. It's very simple. You're a horse rider. You're riding a horse, and you feed the horse to move forward. When the horse doesn't move, you hit it with a stick, right? It's in basic psychology, it would be called behaviorism. It's just positive punishment versus positive reinforcement. So it seems like God here, in the God of the Quran, is trying to get you to go towards the straight path, and is doing it through, this is what you're gonna get if you do the right thing, and this is how you're gonna be punished if you do the wrong thing. And it's fascinating because it feels like everybody's on site. It's not just like those who disbelieve. It's also the people, and I would think, if this is logically consistent, I would think that these people would actually be worse than the disbelievers, because at least the quote unquote disbelievers don't know what they're disbelieving in. Like, how do you know you're wrong if you don't know what you're wrong about? Like that doesn't make a lot of sense. But indeed, those who hide God's revelation, trading them, so they hide it. So that means they know the truth, they hide the truth, and then they trade it for a fleeting gain, consume nothing but fire in their bellies. So let's take that word, fleeting gain. If anybody has, if I'm wrong about because I know the Arabic and the English are different. If I'm wrong about the root origin, if this is a wrong translation, correct me with the word. But I would say fleeting gain. It's interesting because if looking at further back in this chapter, it talks about how this world is just a delusion, kind of like a dream. So isn't everything then a fleeting gain if you're going to manipulate the so-called truth for a gain in this world? So that could be, for example, and funny enough that we were talking about it because it's kind of like in the last video, what that could mean, and I'm just speculating here, obviously, but what that could mean is that if you manipulate the words of God to gain something, it is not lasting, and it is short term. Now I wonder, and this is my, there's a story, I would go back to the conversation that I was having with one of my friends who was like, he's like an ex-Christian, he's like an Orthodox Christian, and he was telling me how much he hates religion. And one of the things that he brought up is the indulgences. Now, I don't know if you know what this is, but it's a big thing here in Canada, and we kind of know the history, more Christian history we know here. Now, the thing about the indulgences is that the church would tell you that if you go fight this war, 100% you're going to get into heaven. Or if you pay this money to the church, 100% you're going to get to heaven. So the church would manipulate God's words so you would give to the church or give it. And that is and it's fascinating how timeless this is, because that is exactly what humans do all the time. Think of how many times you're being manipulated by different people. And often you'll find, and even if you look at it within the Muslim world, if you look at it within the Christian world, if you look at it within the atheist world, they're always manipulating your thoughts and making it seem like God is manipulating your thoughts. And this is my actual issue with religion. Nothing to do with religion. My actual issue with religion is the people within that religion that manipulate the religion. So, look, I get it. Every religion has their priest class. But how do you know that your priest class, any religion, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hindus, how do you know that your priest class is telling you, one, the truth, and two, not to manipulate you? I mean, you have some type of leader, some type of person who's more religious than you. But why is it that the Quran is written for you as a human being to understand it? Is it that, I mean, if this religion is true, would it be, and I'm probably going to piss some people off, but it is what it is. Would it be God and his messenger, so God and Muhammad, and then all the other prophets beforehand? If this is, or for the Christians, God and Jesus, and for the Jews, maybe God and Moses and all the other prophets beforehand. So all these Abrahamic prophets, wouldn't it be better to just listen to them? Because inside the human psyche is corruption. I know this to be a fact. Find me a person in power that's not corrupt. Have you ever seen a corrupted imam or a corrupted priest or a corrupted rabbi? Of course you have. Of course, it's simple, right? It's humans. What happens is, and this is the really weird thing about humans, is the bigger people tend to make us, the more we tend to fall. It's kind of like you can build up a human into a tower, and if he gets too big, the tower crumbles, and you find out who this person is. I'll tell you something. It was a funny story. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, because I know I have a lot of people that are following me that are in the Middle East. But do you guys know who P. Diddy is? So P. Diddy is this guy, this musician, great musician, makes good music. I always thought that music. I realized that music's not good for you. Totally not good for you, because it's putting you under a trance. You can reference one of my other videos about that if you want to hear about how music puts you in a trance. But this person came out as a woman, a woman beater, and your idols. These are idols. You idolize people, and the people that you're idolizing will always fail you. I know I went off on a tangent, but I wonder, like, within the religion, I hear a lot of people don't want to be religious because they're tired of religious people. That's how I felt. I always felt like that religious people were annoying. I really did. I'd be like, why are you, like, because I feel like sometimes, like, this is the story. It's like, that guy doesn't believe in X religion, so he's worse than me. But I believe in the religion, so I'm better than him. But I'm humble. How does that make any sense? How can you be humble but think you're better than somebody? And then you talk to somebody as if you're better than them? Isn't it only God that would be able to judge if who is better than who? But maybe if you have God's words and you're telling the truth, then is it possible for you to level up? Like, what if you, so maybe in this chapter, in this verse, sorry, God is trying to push that into you. Like, there's gonna be people that are gonna want to follow you. There's gonna be people that you're gonna want to follow. But obviously, the Quran came out to tell you that there's only one God. So why would you follow them? Because there's corruption. Now, I'm not saying that you can't take the opinions of people. Take the opinions of people. You can have a lot of opinions. But if you have the book, if you have the book and you have, like, I'm just looking at it from a Muslim perspective. If you have the book and then you have the hadiths, does that suffice? Or do you need something else? I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to anybody else. There's obviously people who are smarter than you on the planet. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But if you have the book, isn't that something that you, like, what I'm saying is don't follow people blindly. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not going to make this video, I'm not going to put this in this video, but I'll reference my point. So 189, righteousness is not an entering your houses from the back doors. Rather, righteousness is being mindful of God. So enter your homes through their proper doors and be mindful of God. I've only got 1 minute left. So with that being said, if you look at the description on this, it says, before Islam, there was a superstitious practice for pilgrims to enter their homes through the back door, returning from the pilgrimage. This verse suggests that being devoted to God wholeheartedly is more important than following old traditions. This book is really just about not following people and old traditions. That's what I took out of that ayah. Let me know what you think. I don't know if that's controversial or not. Obviously, as I'm exploring this, I'm down for any types of opinions, but let me know what you think. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.